right. Hi, Mehek.
Hello, Rakhi.
Okay, a warm welcome today for our podcast.
Yeah, thank you.
And I'm very excited to talk to you, to have this conversation with you as one of our Japanese language experts in the language school. So, here I'm looking forward right now for a few minutes to have that conversation with you. Mehek, a very interesting thing is I have seen your work. You've been doing a fantastic job when it comes to your, delivering the language expertise to the students in the language school, the way they are learning the language. So it's been fantastic the way I've seen your dedication, commitment, the focus, the way the students are happy in terms of your teaching methodology. I'm also curious, to know that how you are as a person in your personal life.
So basically, I am an extrovert person, and of course, I love to party. Same goes for my husband as well. So
Wow.
I was an introvert before marriage, not socializing much, not making much friends. But he's completely opposite. So now we started partying on weekends. Like he used to relieve his stress work. So same goes for me also. I also feel like okay, it's weekend. Let's go and have a party, or let's just go in the car and just eat something good and go for a long drive or something. So yes, I am enjoying my life this way. So basically, I'm balancing both personally as well as professionally because of course both are important. So you have to basically maintain them.
Absolutely. And, because professionally we are so focused in terms of what our aim is, we have to drive our role, what we are into, right? We are being very objective in our professional life. But you seem to be an extrovert person, huh, Mehek? Lovely. Okay. So, interesting. But I also want to, I'm very curious and I want to understand basically. So, you've been teaching Japanese, since past so many years with the language school. And we see how students have been successful in terms of learning the language. So, in the language school, how is it that, how it sets apart the levels N5 and N4 apart from the other courses?
Yeah. So basically N5 and N4 levels are like the very basic levels. So let's start with N5. So once you learn N5, the most learners can hold basic conversations like introducing themselves,
Yeah.
ordering food, or asking for directions. At N4 level, basically you'll do some kind of business conversation is there. And that's what when you move to N3 level. So basically you will be able to talk more about like in a formal setup, you'll be able
Yeah.
to talk more about the meetings. Let's say that we have discussed this in the last meeting, we are going to do this in the next meeting. So basically you can say N5 and N4 are like very basic level, and from N3 onwards, N3 is like intermediate, and N2 and N1 are like advanced levels. So of course, according to the level how language is divided, so that's how you can learn to proceed, basically how to do communication. At the very basic level you can do basic, but at the intermediate advanced level you can do business conversations as well.
Oh, wow. Lovely. I mean, having business conversations in Japanese, I'm like thinking about it, how it is. So it's quite an achievable target in terms of studying those levels, right?
Yeah, right.
Another thing about Japanese language is, apart from other languages, is the kanji, right? How do you basically teach kanji in terms of conversation, grammar, vocabulary? How do you do that with the students?
I basically teach kanji through the pictorial depiction. We know that kanji is like a pictorial depiction. So let's just take the example of like he. So it is also called as sun. So we'll just show the depiction of sun, and then we have to learn the kanji. But I'll tell you, there are two readings for kanji. One is kunyomi and one is onyomi. That is called as Chinese reading and Japanese reading. So
Okay.
of course, the students have so many kanjis in N5 level also. They have to target 110 kanjis. So you cannot just learn, okay, this is unyomi, this is kunyomi. So of course, we are not learning basically social science that we have to cram everything. We
Yeah.
are basically learning Japanese. So
Correct.
we have to understand the reason behind it. So I always teach that as a word. For example, kyo is written. Kyo means today. So the kanji of ima and the kanji of today is there. So like today, ima, it's today's day, so you can always say today for that. Same goes for ashita, that is tomorrow. We have kino. So we have different kanji. So I always tell the students to just go through the meaning, understand what is the reason behind that, why we are using two kanjis rather than learning kunyomi and onyomi. Of course, it's not a practical approach to learn Japanese this way, like learn just kunyomi and onyomi. So always learn it as a word. So whenever you see that in grammar section, listening, you will listen, or comprehension section, so you'll understand this kanji is this, and then learn the meaning. That is very important, so that you can easily relate to the kanji.
Interesting. Huh? I mean, really, I mean, it's not easy to basically come to that level, make students understand how kanji is to be, adapted, how you learn. Wow, very interesting. Huh? This is. But do you have any tips or strategies in terms of how do you basically guide students for this JLPT? How do you do that?
Yeah, so BC JLPT exam is like you don't need to write anything in kanji
Okay.
basically. So
Okay.
some of the trainers train like, okay, let's just write the kanji. Let's
Yeah.
write the stop orders again and again. And
Yeah.
after few days, so students forget, oh, this kanji is this. That's why students face a lot of difficulty while learning kanji. So I always say, just look at a word at a kanji, and you should know the reading, and ultimately you will know the meaning. So basically, always focus on the words. Like if two combination kanjis are there, what is the
Okay.
meaning of that kanji? You have to be very particular with the reading. So if you understand the readings, if you do it from the very basic level N5, so of course for more levels you will do both things. That will be easier for you to understand difficult kanjis as well in N4, N3 level.
Superb. And how do you make a global impact in terms of how do you make that difference where students are able to aspire something in terms of their careers? Do they, opt anything particular after learning this language?
Yes, I'll tell you, like, I have taught so many students till now. So, of course, they are from diverse backgrounds because they are learning language. They are professionals, college learners, and even kids as well. I taught kids like around 10 to 12 years old. So, of course, learning Japanese is quite difficult, but it's interesting as well. So, I see even 10 to 12 years old students studying really well in the classes, like they're understanding, they're practicing. So already they have a lot of curriculum in their school they have to target, but still they are learning Japanese. So yeah, it's very appreciable. But yeah, basically teaching Japanese, I have seen the students, some started as a
Hmm.
hobby, just Japanese as a hobby, but
Yeah.
they ended up working in good Japanese companies. Some transition themselves into translation, anime subtitling, and you can say more like language teaching, what I am doing right now. So yeah, so many of them have transitioned themselves.
Yeah, and we have such par excellence Japanese trainers with the language school, and the way you are doing your job in terms of teaching the language. It's phenomenal, amazing. I think we see very good language trainers with language school, where we see this excellence of students learning the language and passing out with that confidence. Amazing. But it was interesting to know how actually the language works when it comes to Japanese, the levels, teaching, the kanji. It's very interesting. It's complex, but it is definitely interesting. Very nice, Mehek, and I got a lovely insight, and it was nice to have you. And thank you so much for your time. You took out some time to discuss about the language learning of Japanese in the language school. Thank you, because everybody outside will know that how our Japanese language trainers are doing a fantastic job. Thank you again, Mehek.
Okay, let me say one line what you said. Let me translate it in the end. So, hi, Nihongo wa muzukashi desu ga omoshiroi desu. So, yeah, basically Japanese is quite difficult, but yes, it's interesting.
Amazing. It sounded well also. Thank you again, Mehek. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Bye bye.